Good morning and welcome to your Friday Faith Fill-Up. I want to share something with you probably over the next few weeks from a verse in Micah chapter 6 that we're probably all somewhat familiar with. I know I've likely preached from this passage, but in Micah, God is warning the people about the judgment of God that is coming to them. And when you get to chapter 6, there's a couple of verses there where they're talking about what they want to do, the sacrifices of rams and all of those things that they want to do, but really God wants a change in their heart. And chapter 6 and verse number 8 really deal with that. It says, He has showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. It says here's what God is requiring of you. You're trying to do these works, you're trying to do these other things, but there's three things that are mentioned here that are so imperative to what God is after, and they really do show that what God is really after is their heart, not all of the actions and the works that they're trying to put into it. And by the way, God hasn't changed. But it says there to do justly. What does it really mean to do justly? Well, the word there has to do with being honest or to be genuine. Another thought when it comes to judgment is to be impartial. So I thought about the impartiality of a judge. When someone goes into a courtroom, they have an expectation that the facts are going to be heard and that the decision that is handed down from the judge or from a jury, whichever the case may be, is going to come solely from the facts, not because of the way a person looks, not because of the way a person talks or anything else, but just solely on the facts. And that's what we're told to do here. It says to do justly, that our judgment should be something that is impartial, first of all, to others. We have the attitude many times of judgmental, of being judgmental to people and looking down on people. And as Jesus addressed it, don't judge people by their appearance, don't judge people by their position, don't even judge people by their disposition, but to try and find out what the facts are, what the truth might be. These things, the appearance and the disposition and position of those, too many times I think we will let skew the way that we view somebody, and our judgment is off because of that. Now, that wouldn't be fair for us to go into a courtroom and just because of maybe having a frown on our face that the case is against us because of our disposition or maybe because of our appearance or something like that. And so we shouldn't be doing that to others either. And another side of that, though, as you dig into it, before we can really be just and do justly to other people, there needs to be a justice inside us of what we are doing. We have to look inward when it relates to that. I think we have to be careful what our opinion is of ourselves. While with others, our opinion many times, unfortunately, will default to something that is negative, our opinion of ourselves most of the time is towards something that is positive. And we think ourselves, as Paul would say, we think ourselves to be something when we are nothing. And we have this great idea of who we are, that we're someone that's perfect, we've got it all together. But let's just be honest, we really don't. But what we need to do is to look at ourselves in the right way. We need to view ourselves in the light that God wants us to view ourselves, so that we can just be real with ourselves, so that we can be real with others, so that we can be real with God. Listen, if we're in a place where we think that we're something great, we're really limiting what God can do with us because we've exalted ourselves in doing that. Something else just to think about when it comes to that is in 1 Corinthians chapter number 11. We find here that the instruction is given along with the Lord's Supper there, that if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. If we were to look at our own selves and to be just with our own selves, we would probably make some changes, wouldn't we? We would see who we are, we would see the lack in our lives and the changes maybe that need to be made in our lives if we were just to be honest with ourselves, and we would then not be judged, not see that judgment of others. So let's consider that the first thing in this three-part devotion here to stop and think about. Are we doing justly? Are we doing justly to those around us? Are we genuine? Are we being sincere about who they are? Are we trying to pass a critical judgment based on an appearance or even a feeling that we have? And also, are we looking at ourselves the way that we ought to? Something I hope that we'll stop and consider. We'll see you all on Sunday morning.